Well, Singapore is set to host the first Future of Investment and Trade, or FIT, ministerial meeting, and that's going to be on the sidelines of the Bloomberg New Economy Forum this month. The grouping, formed in September, brings together 14 small and medium-sized members of the World Trade Organization, and it aims to strengthen their trading links at a time when the rules-based global trading system is under growing strain. Now, Costa Rica is one of the partnership's founding members. They're looking to further expand trade dialogue, and we're now joined by Manuel Tovar Rivera, who is Costa Rica's foreign trade minister and one of the architects of the FIT partnerships. Good to see you, Mr. Tovar. Thank you. And welcome to Singapore. You're going to have a busy week. What key outcomes are you looking for in terms of achieving with this FIT partnership?
Very happy to be here. And in this is a major initiative that a group of small and open economies have launched precisely to tackle and address the erosion of a multilateral trade system. International trade is an economic discipline that is very, very vulnerable to disruptions like the COVID pandemic, geopolitical crisis. And here we are, a group of countries that have created and launched this coalition of the willing, of the like-minded, to pursue further strengthening of trade through a dialogue and a space of collaboration in areas as trade facilitation, digital economy, and the supply chain resilience. So we're happy to be here in Singapore and to make an official launch of this initiative.
Okay, it's a small, cozy grouping of 14 countries. How do you see FIT helping Costa Rica reposition itself exactly then beyond conventional trade relationships? Because you come from a zone where your neighbors, Colombia, Mexico, Brazil, they've all had to do battle with the Trump administration. So how do you then plan for over-reliance on the United States in this area?
By diversifying, trade diversification is precisely a tool to manage risk. And of course, this goes in line with what we're pursuing over here with the FIT partnership. We're fit for trade, we're fit for facilitated investment, and this is an innovative approach to do so. So in this regard, of course, Costa Rica has a very sound and historical partnership with the US. We're sitting currently with them to try to face off those tariffs. We don't like tariffs, of course, but at the same time, we know that we have to expand our footprint elsewhere in the world. And Asia and the Pacific is precisely what we're doing. This is a very dynamic, very sophisticated region. And we have a lot of initiatives ongoing with Singapore. Not just we have an FTA currently in force with Singapore, but we have also engaged under DIPA, the Digital Economy Partnership Agreement, and we're very close to become party to the CPTPP. The FITP is precisely another initiative that goes beyond those lines to try to create innovative approaches to the current challenges that international trade faces.
Okay. The FIT partnership also has its focus on emerging technologies and digital trade, which is really, really exciting. Tell me about Costa Rica's readiness and also plans for tech integration, especially when it comes to trade, cross-border commerce as well, and how can it benefit Costa Rican companies?
Well, we have already come along through a interesting journey throughout the last 20, 25 years. If we go back in time 30 years ago, Costa Rica's economy was based basically upon 4 agricultural commodities: bananas, coffee, pineapple, and sugar. Today, we export 4,500 products to the world, very much sophisticated. Thanks to our workforce, we have a very qualified workforce, the most productive in Latin America. And today, medical devices, the medtech sector represents our highest and most successful export product to the world. Around 40% of our exports are medtech sectors, medical devices, also semiconductors. But we also become a very sophisticated services economy when we speak not just about backup services, corporate services, but also IT, software development, cybersecurity. These are the domains that we wish to bring into the table at the FITP partnership and continue embracing these sort of economic activities, not just between us, but also beyond the members. This is just the beginning. We're 14 countries, but we hopefully will continue to grow through time.
Okay, I like to hear about the progression of your economy, but I'm also very attracted to the story of the bananas. So what happens to your farmers then? How do they benefit from FIT?
Well, we still are a very important economy when it comes to bananas, third largest exporter of bananas, first largest exporter of pineapple. And of course, coffee is important. We export less coffee, but very qualified coffee, very nice boutique coffee. We continue along those lines, but Costa Rica's path towards development has evolved through time. We went from exporting plantain chips to exporting microchips. We have developed a very robust agenda when we come to semiconductors. We have fostered, the arrival of greenfield investment also in medical devices. Around 100 companies, world-leading companies, doing those kind of products and goods in Costa Rica. That has changed. That has evolved as our economy. And over the last 3 years, that has showcased our progress in the global landscape. Back to back to back, we have been the fastest growing economy among OECD countries. So we continue along those lines and hopefully bring those sort of examples to the table as other countries in FIT try to evolve in their global value chains participation.
And the other countries in FIT who are your neighbors are Chile, Panama, Uruguay. Very interesting. Is there potential then for this partnership to evolve into a stronger Latin American trade and innovation bloc for the small and open economies?
Absolutely. And I think that this is a space for collaboration. This is like some sort of a mirror, to mirror ourselves, to learn from each other, to adopt the best practices that others have already fulfilled and have worked in their own countries. For us, for Costa Rica, we always see Singapore as a mirror. That's what we want to become of. But also, it is true that Latin American countries, we have very little integration. We export and trade more with Far East, with North America or Europe than we do among ourselves. So this can also be an opportunity for us to further integrate ourselves.
Why is that, Minister Tovar?
Logistics, practices, regulatory practices, history. So this is something that we have to overcome. But traditionally, we are less integrated among ourselves as we are integrated with other parts of the world.
Okay, so this is a partnership. It's described as agile and informal, non-binding. How is this different for Costa Rica versus traditional treaty-based agreements?
Well, we don't have a straight jacket so far. It doesn't mean that this initiative will evolve over time into something much more ambitious. This is a dialogue that we're starting, that we're launching tomorrow. We'll see how it goes over time. But again, striking deals, for example, within the WTO becomes harder and harder. To reach consensus in an 160-plus member organization with countries with such a diversity, countries at war with each other, least developed economies, G7, G20s becomes much more challenging. So that's why we're trying to go together, build these smaller coalitions with like-minded countries that pursue predictable and open trade under transparency rules. And that's what we're aiming to launch tomorrow.
All right. Can you share any concrete examples and measures that Costa Rica may adopt to align with FIT's agenda?
Absolutely. For example, if we explain how we have developed our workforce that has allowed us to attract these sort of companies and create well-paid jobs in Costa Rica, this is something that we want to try to see other countries emulating. Investing in people. If you invest in people, at the end of the day, you invest in your economy, you create high value-added jobs, high value-added industry. And that is the case, that is the way to go. Singapore did it. That's what we're doing.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking with us and all the best this week.
Thank you.
Sounds like it's going to be an exciting one. Thank you to Manuel Tovar Rivera, who's Foreign Trade Minister of Costa Rica.